Just wanted to kind of reflect on what this process has been like, the research and writing it for you. How has writing this book affected you?
In the case of the miracle accounts, at the beginning sometimes I was asking people really hard questions because I was coming at them, despite some experiences of mine in the past, I was coming at them with very skeptical questions. But after a while, it just wore down my skepticism because there was just such an abundance of evidence, sometimes corroborating eyewitnesses, independent eyewitnesses, and then when you had medical documentation, eventually I stopped trying to be neutral and just said, this is what I believe.
But what do you feel God taught you personally within your research?
I think God broke down the wall inside of me that said, yeah, we can trust God for salvation, we can trust God for spiritual things, but these other things are off limits. We're not supposed to trust God for visible miracles that can't be explained some other way. There's no limit to what God can do. We can trust Him.
What do you think God is trying to communicate to us through these stories, to modern day Christians? What is He communicating through your work, and what does it say about Him?
The Bible speaks of gifts of healings. It also speaks of anointing the sick in James chapter 5. Those are things that are for the church, they're for our benefit, they're blessings. But in the Gospels and Acts, it also speaks of signs and wonders. In terms of healing, God can heal us in a variety of ways. God can work through doctors, and often does work through doctors. But signs and wonders are a kind of evidence that gets our attention. Doesn't persuade everyone, but this activity of God gets our attention and really challenges our assumptions. In the case of the kinds of signs and wonders like raising from the dead, instant healing of blind eyes, and so forth, those things challenge non-believers to recognize that God is real. The God who is the Father of Jesus Christ is real and alive. And in many places, people have, it's not just the kind of natural recovers that they see that God has built into nature anyway, because people see those in other cases, but in these cases, people are often willing to abandon centuries of other traditions to turn to faith in the God of Jesus Christ. But for us as Christians in the West, I think it's a reminder that God really is God, and that our faith can't be limited to just spiritual things, but the God who raised His Son Jesus from the dead is alive, is Lord of the universe. There's nothing too hard for Him. And we can expect to be surprised, if that's not an oxymoron, by God's acts of grace in this world.